Hi, good Wednesday, and welcome back. It's the 8th day of March and a pretty nice day in the neighborhood. A little brisk as far as the winds are concerned, but temperatures into the 60s and a lot of sunshine out and ahead of an even nicer day tomorrow that's been bumped up to 72 degrees. One word of caution. First of all, the first word of caution in your forecast, and that is that today and certainly leading up tomorrow, red flag warning days, I do expect at least tomorrow to be issued in regards to forest fire hazard conditions. Really prime for that tomorrow, and we are, of course, in the midst of forest fire hazard season, so just absolutely no burning during the 6 o'clock a.m. to 6 p.m. time frame, and really at all tomorrow would be some very, very sound advice. We've got a lot of ground to cover this evening. A report that I'm putting together about indictments from a Martin County grand jury concerning some Paintsville residents, some from lovely Kentucky. I've covered a lot of things in my more than 18 years behind this desk. If these allegations are true, one of the saddest, one of the most disgusting things that I've come across in a long time in regards to several victims under the age of 12, torture, confinement. The list goes on, and still sorting through a long list of charges and details, hundreds of charges against several individuals, and we'll get to that in a few seconds. We'll also turn to Superintendent of McGoffin Schools, Scott Helton, who tells me about the resignation of one of the newly elected board members and where the process is to date. And I'm going to do this on a normal basis for a while. I've been talking about, as we've been just seeing more and more what it feels to be meth-related arrests making the headlines, starting to kind of get up there along, if not surpassing, prescription medication arrests. So a check of jail records every morning, as I do every morning, is now going to kind of crunch some numbers, and I started that today. We'll take a look at just who was in jail for what, mainly for what in this particular case. A whole lot of other news and information to get to you tonight. Acquittal. A big announcement yesterday coming from Judge David Bunning in an order that Dr. Richard Paulus, the Ashland heart doctor who was convicted just this past October, awaiting his formal sentencing next month on the 25th. He was convicted for performing unneeded heart procedures on a number of patients, and collecting money, payment for Medicare and Medicaid, as well as private insurance companies. And in a 52-page opinion, a ruling yesterday, Judge David Bunning issued an acquittal on all 11 counts against Paulus, and that, of course, will vacate his sentencing, which was set for the 25th of next month. That means, as well, the motion for a new trial on behalf of Paulus has been granted. The first trial lasted more than 3 weeks, 4 days of just deliberations, and he was convicted on 11 of the 16 counts that were brought before the jury. This time, however, though, Judge Bunning says specifically, the government failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Dr. Paulus made an objectively false statement or acted with fraudulent intent. And under the acquittal standard, the court places its thumb on the scale in favor of the government. Therefore, a new trial is to be set. We'll have more information at a later time as more court hearings are set as well. But Paulus acquitted, and with a great deal of patience in the viewing area as well, but acquitted on all 11 charges, and he has been granted a new trial. We'll get some of our other top headlines in just a few minutes. Right now, let me take you to McGoffin County School Superintendent Scott Helton. I think I was the first to tell you earlier this week that we will be covering the report, and the first to cover tonight about the recent resignation of a recently elected McGoffin County Board of Education member who has submitted his resignation to the Superintendent of Schools, who has now begun the process of seeing someone appointed to fill that unexpired term, or at least a portion of it. A little more than 2 months into his 4-year term, a newly elected school board member for McGoffin County has officially resigned, and Superintendent Scott Helton says that he has begun the official process of filling the unexpired term, with that appointment running through the November 2018 election cycle. Donald Helton Jr., absent from the February regular session of the McGoffin County Board of Education seen here, from what I understand, notified Superintendent Helton of his intentions to resign about 2 weeks ago.
About 2.5 weeks ago, I received a call of one of our newly elected board members. And he had some personal issues and some concerns about serving as a board member. And he had made a decision that he going to deal with some things, and he didn't want to serve any longer as a board member. And upon that conversation, there's some procedures that I have to take care of, and some things that have to take place in his resignation. And one of those was that I have to contact KDE and the Commissioner of Education. I have done that at this point. And now what we're waiting on is the directions that they give us. And one of the things that I've been told is that they're preparing the procedures, and they will send us some notification on our next step and what we follow through with the next thing. My understanding is in the past is that they will open up applications for anyone living in that district that is interested in becoming a board member, and they can pick up the applications here at the board office. But we don't have those at this time. We're just still waiting on the procedures to get started with. But once those get in place, we'll make a public notice that they're here and that it's open and they're taking applications for a certain period of time. The other steps that go through that, I think that in the past they have sent people from KDE to actually interview applicants and make a determination. And whoever they pick and appoint will serve until the next general election. And that, by looking at this, the way the law states is whenever we run a next general election, that the person that's appointed will serve until that point, and that for us will be November of 18. That election takes place, and then the next person would actually take office January of 19.
Helton was just elected to the District 5 seat of the Magoffin County Board of Education. He was elected at the same time as was Doug Wireman to District 3 and Jimbo Gullett to District 2. Gullett already filling the unexpired term of former chairman Bill W. May, which means that whoever shall be appointed to fill Helton's seat will do so, as Superintendent Helton said, through the November 2018 general election next year. And during that election, the District 5 seat will be back up for grabs, as will at the same time the District 1 seat currently held by Chairman Rodney Ward and the District 4 seat by Jesse Rudd. Helton also asked me to stress on one more occasion tonight that there are no applications at the board as of right now, but those, once upon being received, will be announced publicly, and I will share that information with you. And after that point, individuals who wish to apply for the position will be able to go to the Board of Education and pick up and fill out an application. Check out our pet of the week. This friendly fella is Frankie. He comes in at 40 pounds, about 20 inches tall. He is great with other dogs and doesn't seem to mind cats at all. He's full of energy, and if you'd like to make this wonderful dog a part of your family, please come by and visit him at the Johnson County Animal Shelter, or any of the other fabulous faces that are sure to put a smile on yours at Whiskers or Wags, the Johnson County Animal Shelter, where you can always drop by to drop off a bag of food or $1 or $2, or to be a volunteer, or call 297-PETS. So I've made reference over the past several weeks about the number of meth arrests and how meth is becoming even more mentioned now in drug-related arrests, traffic stops, and things of that nature. It felt as though here as of late. So I'm going to start kind of monitoring the situation, and I'll do so by checking Big Sandy Regional Detention Center jail records every morning, as I do on a normal basis anyway. For example, this morning I went ahead and took a look back at the last 2 days of those who were still incarcerated in the jail to see how many of those arrests indeed were meth related. So checking this morning at around 8 o'clock or so, I took down notes and records on those still incarcerated in the last 2 days. While others have been incarcerated and since released, those with usually more serious charges such as meth are kept for at least a day or longer. And out of the 12 individuals still in the Big Sandy jail that were arrested over the 24 hours of yesterday and then over the course of the overnight and up through 8 o'clock this morning, there were 12 individuals still in jail. 4 of those, a third, for methamphetamine charges. 3 related to the manufacture of methamphetamine, and 1 related to the possession of the drug, as well as other charges, mostly drug-related, against many of those individuals. Now, out of the other 8, 1 was for public intoxication of drugs, trafficking in a controlled substance, that drug unspecified, assault of a corrections officer, driving under the influence and possession of a alleged drug, driving under the influence, and a contempt of court arrest as well. But 1/3 out of those 12 that were still in jail, keep that in mind, not of all that were arrested, but still in jail, related to either manufacture of methamphetamine or possession of methamphetamine. And we'll try to keep a standing count, if you will, and see how this trend goes. 2 of those are accused of manufacturing meth in a hotel room in the Inez Motel night before last, when the Martin County Sheriff's Department says they got a tip about the drugs being made, and then once they went to the motel room, after the door opened, they saw in plain sight ingredients used to manufacture meth. They had consent to search, and thereafter found a meth lab, an active meth lab, under a sink in the bathroom, as well as a white powdery substance they believed to be meth, some rock-like substances they also believed to be meth, and crystal meth as well. And arrested were 39-year-old Nicholas Ward of Inez and 24-year-old Alexis Williams, both charged with manufacturing the illegal drug. And Ward was also charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. He was discovered with a needle as well as an amount of marijuana in his possession. And both are still lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Jail. Still a few details rendering in regards to our next top headline. I'll have that in a few moments. Let me go on over now to tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. It's a busy place to be tonight. But first, a couple of things. Representative John Blanton, has seen his first piece of legislation pass through both chambers, and some others still hopeful. The Senate gave a final approval to a public protection measure sponsored by Representative Blanton here in Sagersville, of course. House Bill 289 is Blanton's first piece of legislation to pass both chambers of the General Assembly. It now goes to the governor to be signed into law. As a former state trooper, he says public safety is, of course, an issue that's very close to his heart, and he was very proud to have House Bill 289 pass both chambers. 289 returns administrative oversight and management of the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council to the Secretary of the Public Protection Cabinet. It also moves responsibility for the oversight of the Conceal and Carry program from the Bureau of Criminal Training to the Public Protection Cabinet. This one just in and not on our calendar, so let me go ahead and tell you now that the next hunter education and bow hunters education course is coming up. They have a free, it's a big word, 4 letters but a big word, a free Kentucky hunter education and bow hunter education course, that's the orange card, set in McGoffin County at the Extension Office on March the 16th and 17th, and then Saturday the 19th. And of course next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday the 18th. I think that date is probably incorrect on the announcement I have, because it's usually Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and indeed it is. 9 until completion on Saturday. It starts at 6 o'clock on the 2 evenings prior. The course, sponsored by the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife, includes classroom instruction in hunter ethics, wildlife identification, outdoor survival, first aid, firearms safety, bow hunting, and ammunition. The last session includes live fire and a written examination. Guns, ammo, eye, and hearing protection are provided by the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources. Pre-registration is a must. It's required for all courses and is completed by visiting the Hunter Education page at fw.ky.gov. There's also a number you can call locally. You can call John or Shauna Sharp at 349-7130 or reach out to our friend Wendell Hoskins. Here's the rest of tonight's calendar, beginning with a few birthdays. Yes, birthdays we like, and tonight we want you to join us saying a happy 27th birthday to Brittany Arms from Jeremy, Mama Diana, and Bub. They love you lots. Happy 27th birthday to Brittany Arms. I've got a 62nd birthday wish going out tonight, and if you're watching, that probably narrows it down. Garland Howard. With a lot of love and best wishes from Mom, family, and friends, and Aunt Bonnie. Happy 62nd going out tonight to Garland Howard. A reminder, Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church revival, 7 o'clock nightly this week. And Pastor Paul Heiner and everyone at the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist invite you to join them. As you're also invited to join them in saving lives this Thursday for the next McGoffin County Blood Drive. The Kentucky Blood Center Blood Mobile will be live and in person, so to speak, in front of the Sagersville IGA. That's tomorrow, 1:30 till 5. Come donate. Takes a minute. Get a free T-shirt. and leave there knowing that you may have very well saved a life. Certainly helped better one. You can also schedule your appointment calling 1-800-775-2522. And a very important announcement for anyone who has a child or any child who's listening who plans on playing youth softball and baseball here in Magoffin County this season, because the very last sign-up is this Friday evening, 5 o'clock, 5 to 6 at the Sagersville Subway. They tell me that the rosters are almost full and they might not be able to take any more applications after Friday, because they try to keep a maximum number per team, and they try to keep all the teams full, and it's getting close to that point. So the last day to register, if you're 4 years of age by May the 1st or older and want to play youth ball, all divisions, you can register. The last day to do so this Friday at 5 at Subway. And now turning to funeral service announcements, we do have a listing tonight, full arrangements in honor of Jimmy Randall Salyer. Chico passed away at the age of 77 this week, married to Bertie Kay, who survives. He's also survived by his sons John Randall and Jimmy Wendell Salyer and his daughter Laura Jane Salyer Howard. Visitations are going to be after 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon at the Magoffin County Funeral Home and at the Licking River Baptist Church Saturday from 9 in the morning till 1. Services will be at the church Saturday at 2. Burial will be at the Bruce Arnott Cemetery at Sublette. In lieu of flowers, you can make contributions to the Magoffin County Christians Care Fund, the Licking River Baptist Church, or the Alzheimer's Research Foundation. Once again, in honor of Jimmy Randall Salyer. I'll be right back. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. To be perfectly honest, I'm having a hard time isolating, if you will, and quantifying all the charges against each individual. They're adding up into what appears to be the hundreds, and I'm having also a hard time accepting this report. Allegations at this point, of course, but enough so that the authorities have taken into custody several individuals after indictments returned by a Martin County grand jury that paints a picture unlike anything that perhaps I've ever read behind this desk. And ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I've been here quite some time. It details horrific charges levied against 5 adults who reportedly have abused 5 girls over the course of several years. At least 88 sexual or torture acts involved, with 4 girls all under the age of 12. There will be a follow-up on this report. There appears to be one who may have been a ringleader, so to speak, the main organizer, who's got maybe 90 or so charges individually. Just much more to come. And these pictures aren't necessarily in order. I've got photographs, jail records, mugshots of 4 out of the 5 individuals for you tonight with the accompanying details. A Martin County grand jury returned indictments against several people, so far 5, in what appears to be an extensive plot of imprisonment, rape, and torture of 4 victims under the age of 12. Tommy Mullins and Heather Klein, seen here of Paintsville, are charged with 12 counts each of first-degree rape of a victim under the age of 12, 16 counts of first-degree criminal abuse of a victim under the age of 12. All in all, there were said to be 4 minor children who were subjected to sexual intercourse, torture, and cruel confinement or punishment involving things like nails or pins, needles, electric shock, injuries with a cigarette lighter or a cigarette. It's alleged that Mullins and Klein allowed these 4 underage children to be victimized by 3 other people as well, identified as Jessica Harless, whose photograph I don't have at this time, Edwin Moore, and Marlena Evans. Those 3 indicted on similar charges as Mullins and Klein. All 5 adults are said to have abused the 4 girls between June of 2013 and June of 2015. The 5 adults indicted are charged with a combined number of at least 88 sexual or torture acts involving the girls, and I think that might be a low number. Nevertheless, also indicted, as you see here, that's 77-year-old Edwin Moore of Lovely, 39-year-old Marlena Evans. Jessica Harless is also of Lovely, as is Evans, and Moore is 33, all facing a variety and dozens of rape and sexual abuse and criminal abuse charges. Still yet to be determined the exact number for all, but all indicted by Martin County Grand Jury. We'll have a follow-up at a later time. All right, let's go out with a bang. Not so much. Don't get excited. That was a poor segue. My apologies. We are at 60 and falling if you're catching the early show. We should fall to just above freezing, but we're going to do so under clear skies and nothing more than a wind out of the southwest, maybe 7 miles per hour. Got one right now due west at 4. That's about it. Been a brisk day out there today. Last wind, I had an 18-mile-per-hour gust not that awful long ago today, so it's been breezy, and that put the chill on a little more considering it was into the 60s. But tomorrow we will be at 72 degrees, and, of course, that is going to be a prime scenario for forest fires tomorrow when you talk about sunny skies and winds still out of the west-southwest, maybe 6 to 11, maybe 18-mile-per-hour gusts. So please keep that in mind and heed that caution for tomorrow. Look at tomorrow night's low, 42 degrees. We've got showers in the forecast, but they're not until late tomorrow night. I'm thinking 1 a.m. for us. We do have a cold front coming that you can see the evidence from there on your screen, and that will give us a chance of some showers late tomorrow night. Cold air behind it will be felt Friday with 45 and 22 for your high and low. Friday skies, I think, maybe filled with a few scattered showers very early before 7, but then those cloudy skies should gradually part and become, I think, mostly sunny by the afternoon. Still winds kicking about out of the northwest now from 7 to 15 miles per hour. Now, I know that's not what any of you are wondering about. To be honest, well, I'm wondering about tomorrow. 72 is going to be nice, but still a lot of questions about the upcoming weekend. And still not a whole lot of answers. I can tell you that temperatures are trending down. If you go back to Monday at this time, 48 hours ago, we had a 52-degree daytime high for Saturday. Last night, I was calling it at 39. And tonight, the National Weather Service is expecting around 36 for your Saturday, as well as 20% chance of some snow after 3 o'clock and a 50% chance of some snow that evening. Cooler air still in place, rebounding, but only to 42 on your Sunday, and maybe the snow gone, should we see any, and that's still a big if, and mostly sunny skies, and temperatures Monday still into the mid-40s. Definitely the thing I can tell you with a certainty is that clocks will move forward, whether you touch yours or not. Time's changing, and I'm all about that. That's great news for me and everyone, I think. Days getting longer, Saturday night into your Sunday. As far as the actual threat of some snow, it still very much exists. We're going to have all the cold air we need, maybe even colder than what we're looking at on the screen. Still, it's where this low goes, and we're talking about literally a few dozen miles separating snow and absolutely no snow. No rain with this. It's either going to be a hit or a miss situation, and computers are still basically all over the place, still arguing with each other. Those to the more southern part of our state still probably in the best likelihood of seeing some snow, some big heavy wet snow, and it's going to be short-lived. It's going to fall on ground temperatures that have been rising steadily. Well, not so steadily. We've had some nice warm days. So that's really all I can tell you at this time. But I think certainly by tomorrow and definitely by Friday, we'll have a better bet as to if we're going to see a big winter blast here. Maybe not the last, but maybe this weekend. With that said, more on the sun, more on the snow, and more on other news and information that you're only going to see if you join us for more of your news today next time. Good night. Thanks for watching.